Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Miriam Mensah. Good evening. This is the dish on MX24. I am super excited because yet again we'll come to the end of another wonderful season where we have learned, we have educated ourselves, we have grown into, we're getting there. So we're growing. We are still growing. But what is good is that every single time we come here on this platform, we're educating each other. Welcome back again onto the most exciting, most educative show in the capital, The Dish on MX24. My name again is Miriam Mensah. My guests are already ready. Yeah, already ready. Well, The Dish brings you thought-provoking discussions, empowering perspectives on women's issues, and a focus on global development. Come along as we continue to elevate women's voices, disrupt outdated norms, and drive a real change with progressive women. And I keep telling you that the tagline is progressive women, and it's just any woman, because again, we're becoming this so that we can carry everyone along. How about that? Well, that's what The Dish does. Well, I want to say a big thank you to Decozone for this beautiful set. They keep giving me sets that, just elevates the conversation from all angles, okay? Yeah, I want to say a big thank you to Epiglow as well. They say that, listen, if that skin is suffering, it's going through a lot, the skin is going through a lot, or a lot is going through the skin, just grab you an Epiglow facial cream and skin cream and come back and thank me later, because it will pamper that skin for you and give you the best image you could ever think of. I want to say another big thank you to Gino, Telecel, Cowbell Coffee, Lele, Nivea, and Betway. The hashtag is The Dish on MX24. The Dish on MX24 on all social media platforms. Get interactive with us. Let's get talking together, okay? Let's get talking. If you find a topic that you think that, this platform will be the best place to dissect it, please send it over to us, hashtag us, and let's get talking, okay? From pioneering journalists to showstoppers, women have made significant strides. And that is what brings us to the conversation this morning, or this evening. Yeah, morning, isn't it? In the media industry, however, despite these advancements, women continue to face obstacles, including unequal representation. And just a moment ago, before we came on the show, I told my colleague and, of course, my guest as well, that I don't mind if the balance is more men, less women. Honestly, I honestly don't mind. You'd ask why? Because this platform is to elevate the conversation of, equal, representation in every aspect. But do we merit it? Are we ready for those positions? Well, we don't want to put women in positions that they do not merit. We want to make sure that whilst we're there occupying these positions, we're doing the best things, we're making the best decisions, and we're being women in these places. And when we talk about women, we are talking about bringing dignity, like complete sanity into spaces. We're nurturing the teams to become the best version of themselves, just being complete women, adding a little bit of a soft touch to everything happening in any space we find ourselves. Well, today or this evening, my guests and I are going to get into these conversations, okay? Well, when it comes to women being represented, we're saying that women are not being represented well, pay disparities and limited opportunities. This discussion explores the progressive woman, or the women have, the progress these women have made in the media space. Before I got into the media space, I was told so many things. And when I got in here as well, I think that on the job you learn a lot. Well, this discussion explores the progress women have made in media, the challenges they still face. Because we face a lot of challenges, and the ways in which we can work towards a more inclusive and equitable industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the topic for this evening is women in media, advancements and obstacles. Joining me for the conversation is my sister, friend, colleague, fellow Jesus baby, and a goofy of honor standards. Keely-Jade. Keely, I don't want to, it's the way you pronounce your J, Brewer.
Oh yeah, I segue very quickly through my name.
Yeah,
But it's
do that now.
Keely-Jade Brewer.
Jade Brewer.
Yes.
So it's Keely-Jade Brewer.
Yes, Keely-Jade is one name.
Keely-Jade is one name.
I don't know what my mom was thinking, but it's one name.
It's one name.
It's one name, and it's fine. I'm used to it now.
You're used to it now. So Keely-Jade Brewer is a broadcast journalist. Also, she doesn't want to be called a media personality, but
No.
she's a broadcast journalist who has worked in. This is the dish. No, not the dish.
Foodie Friday.
Foodie Friday is your
TV debut.
TV debut.
It's my TV debut. Yes.
Congratulations one more time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're doing incredibly well with that.
Thank you. Doing close to 3.5, 4 years of radio and segueing to TV.
How does that feel?
It's nice. It's nice.
It's nice.
Because not everybody gets the opportunity.
Yeah.
Some people start radio and then they're there for 10 years, 15 years, and they're doing their job every day, not really getting the recognition, and it's sad.
Yeah.
And
Radio somehow just keeps you in the dark a little bit.
It turns you into background noise, and that's sad.
Is it?
It turns you. I feel like
But my first love is radio, right?
Me too, but unfortunately,
you don't want to do that no more.
The passion can drag you into a dark abyss if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Where you're not really moving forward like that, and
but
you're just
you're very gifted, and you're doing all these
Yeah.
incredible things. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I wish you all the very best on this new journey of yours.
Thank you.
Do your thing, okay?
I'll try my best.
Bring your magic into the room. Also joining us all the way from Nigeria will be Riya Abdul. Once she comes online, we are going to be getting into the conversation with her. She started from Ghana. If you do not know, Riya did her initial education. So she speaks impeccable Tree.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Riya speaks very, very, very good Tree. And she's from Nigeria. She's currently on TVC. And she, my God, anytime I watch that girl in the morning, I'm like, what? Okay, let me just take my time and consume all of this magic. But yes, Riya will be joining us all the way from Nigeria as we get into this conversation. Again, I want to establish that this conversation is going to help us identify some of the challenges we face in the industry as women. I am your other guest on the show. Because me to my own could come inside. Hi, Riya. Hello, Riya.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Did you get the energy?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Good evening, girl. How are you doing? How are you doing? How's it going? How's it going? Hi, Riya. Okay. Hopefully our technical team. Are you okay? Are we okay? Because this conversation is going to get hot. And so I don't want us to have any challenges, okay? Well, let me start with you since you're here with me. We're going to be doing a lot of the conversation. She's going to be joining us in and out, but you and I are on top of this conversation for today. First of all, you could have just chosen to be a doctor, because I'm looking at you and I'm like, Dr. Keely would have been really, really nice.
I considered it as a child.
You could have been a lawyer, hair owner, you know, it could have been anything. What inspired you to pursue media or broadcast journalism or career in media in the first place?
Honestly, a career in media wasn't expected for me at all. Growing up, I told myself I wanted to be a doctor because I actually feel some sense of fulfillment when I help people out and they get better, you know, road to recovery type stuff. But with time, I realized that I suck at chemistry and physics, and I was failing those papers. So I leaned more towards the history and the fine arts and all of that stuff, and I found a lot of interest in there. I discovered sociology along the line, fell in love with that, ended up in uni, started doing business admin. And while I was doing it, I was just thinking to myself, I want to sell products, but I want myself to be the #1 product I am selling. And I fell in love with the media. With time, I fell in love with public speaking. First time I was ever on radio, I was like 10 years old in Liberia on Unmill Radio. I was just at school and they picked me up and they're like, okay, you're going to go and do International Children's Day of Radio. I'm like, all right, cool. So I got there, learned a little about production and all of that stuff, recorded voiceovers. It was all good and dandy. So along the line, I just kind of fell into it. And then it became a career choice for me. So in uni, I started off with influencing, content creation, segued from that, more public speaking. And I learned the hard way that if a platform isn't given to you, just create your own. So, okay, I want to broadcast live on TV and talk to an audience, but I'm not employed by a TV station yet. So what do? I'll go live on Instagram, talk to the people there, and then build up from there. So that's how I started. Ended up working at a radio station. Won't mention their name. We don't give free promo. And and after that, I ended up on MX24.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into the media space. And I think my thing is that I enjoy the recovery process of people. So I like to have conversations. Conversations that could be healing, or conversations that allow people to say what they want to say. At least get your side of the story out. Because I think the worst thing you can have during the human experience is to be misunderstood. So I decided that with me coming into the media space, my number one thing I'm going to do is to not throw people under the bus. I won't throw you under the bus until you throw yourself. There may be...
I'll just make room for you to make those choices.
I won't drag you by your edges immediately, you know, unless it's warranted. But... But at least not immediately, unless it's warranted. But for the most part, giving people the chance to come through and share their perspective, because a lot of people, especially famous people, are so misunderstood. You know, their public persona sometimes doesn't even tally with who they are as a person. And the stories that the media creates about people sometimes push people into depression and all of that stuff. So I thought about, I'm like, I want to go into this space and be the difference in there and allow everybody to show the good in them. Yeah.
How's that going so far?
Honestly, it's going great. Okay. It's going great. Radio was a good stint. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I can't even lie. It comes with its own challenges, not just with being a woman, but being younger. Yeah. It has its own challenges. Life happens. People happen.
It is what it is.
People exist. It is what it is. My mom would say that, unfortunately, we're wildly outnumbered by people who were created to test your patience versus people who were created to give you peace. So now that you know you're wildly outnumbered, you just go out there and you take everything with a grain of salt and you don't let it get to you too much. Just stay focused on the goal, focused on where you want to go. And when you realize that something isn't serving your purpose anymore, it's okay to let go of it.
Let go of it.
Yes.
You see, some of these decisions are really hard to make. And so I'll let you stay on that, go out of it. Because again, when you're driven by passion, it's a little difficult to make some of those very hard decisions. Joining us all the way from Nigeria, Riya Abdul. Thank you for joining us once again.
Morning. How's it going?
I'm doing very well, Riya. We're going to jump right into it. I heard, a little bit told me that you started your career in Ghana. Let's establish that fact.
Yes, I did start my career in Metro TV. You know, once I graduated from school, I was at Metro. I used to do playlists, and then I started with Click on the morning show, and then I went over to playlist. And I did that for a couple of years, and I just decided that, you know, I want the world to hear my name. So then I moved to Nigeria.
What does that even mean, Riya? What does that even mean? What does it mean that the one has to hear?
The industry in Ghana is a bit small compared to Nigeria. You know, when you talk about the media space in Nigeria, when you're able to penetrate the media space in Nigeria, then you can have conversations with the world. So that was one of the reasons for me. I just needed the world to see what I can do.
What was the move like, knowing that you had already established yourself here, and if anybody knew your name or knew about you, then it would be with the Ghanaian terrain? What was it like moving to Nigeria? What was the acceptance like?
I'll tell you, it was really difficult because when I came to Nigeria, I don't know why I was expecting people would know me from playlist. I'm like, when I say playlist, they're like, what is playlist? So like, no one knew me, and I'd already built a name for myself in Ghana. So it was really difficult. But I tell people something: you need to leave your comfort zone. In order to get to a particular point in life, you need to make a big sacrifice and leave your comfort zone. So in as much as I knew that people would not know me here, I aspired for people to know me here, and that was what kept me going. That was the drive for me. That, you know, I can also build a name here, and when you build a name in you know, Nigeria, it's able to connect. You're able to connect to other places. So it was quite difficult. The move was very difficult. Of course, I was scared. Of course, I was shaky. Of course, I wasn't sure. But all I knew is that I had the talent and I had God. So I just needed God to lead me. But most importantly, the talent was like the number one for me. And it's been amazing. You all have seen how far we've come on the journey.
Yes.
You know, Ghana is my home. I love Ghana. And this is not just for me, because I remember when I did the AMVC, I said this is Nigeria and this is Ghana.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's beautiful to see that, someone from Ghana can do this great in another person's country.
Riya, let's go a little. Let's back up a little bit on how this entire thing started for you. I was just asking Keely that she could have chosen to be even a pastor's wife, She could have been a doctor or anything apart from media, considering the fact that there was already an image. By the time you were getting into the media space, there was an image, especially about women. What was it like making that decision and saying that I am passionate about this? What inspired you to choose media and stay so focused on it to the point that you want to actually even move all the way to Nigeria to further this course of yours of becoming a media personality, a known one at that? Which, by the way, you've achieved anyway. Let me just put that one.
Thank you very much. So the thing with me is that I'm very ambitious, okay? And I always knew I was going to do media because I knew that my voice is powerful and I needed people to hear it, and I knew that I could change the narrative with my voice and media. So while I was in SMU in Ghana, I went to Sikimani Power University in Ghana. I did journalism and mass communication. And while I was in school, I had the shows where I was doing the Small Madame Show because, I was so little. So I used to call the show the Small Madame Show, where I gather people together and we just had conversations. After I did 2 episodes of that show, I'm like, Riya, you're going to make money from this thing because God has given you the gift of talking. When you talk, people want to listen. So for me, it was that show. The Small Madame Show was one of the reasons why I knew that I could do media. I've always loved media. I couldn't do anything else apart from media. I've never thought I could be a doctor or a nurse or a teacher or whatsoever. I just knew that it had to be media for me. And I'm happy I made that decision and I've been consistent with it. What we see most of the times is if you don't have passion for it, you cannot be consistent. We see a lot of people get into media because they get into for the wrong reasons. At some point, they will leave. But even with the hardship, I faced everything because it's not just a passion for me. It's media is my life. Talking is my life. I talk for a living. The more I talk, the more money I make.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Riya is a chatterbox. She is the cutest. But by the time, which year was this when you were in school doing the Small Madam show?
So this was about 2019, if I'm correct.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
not too
about
long
2018,
ago.
2019.
Whoa. Riya, you've done so well. You've done so well. I must say, that's not too long
More
ago.
to come.
I'm thinking about it. I'm like,
There-
wow,
there's, more,
she's amazing.
there is more to come. Actually, we keep working every day.
Yes,
Like we don't sleep. I don't see this as success because where I'm getting, we need to put Ghana on the map as well. At the end of the day, I still want to come and do things in Ghana. I want to come and talk to the young girls in Ghana that want to do media because I see a lot of them in my DMs and they are feeling discouraged. I also feel like the media space in Ghana doesn't really give women, the opportunity. We have a lot of girls that are doing really well, but it's either you want these, men are asking you for different favors that you cannot give. Some of them are undermined, and some of them are really good. Because if I will tell you at Metro TV, I felt undermined because I had the talent, but I wasn't getting key shows. So I still want to come and give back to a lot of. We have a lot of talented people in Ghana. About this weekend, I was in Ghana. I'm sure I came for the my station TVC received an award, and I met some media people, and I'm like, why don't I hear of you? Why don't I know these people? These are great people. Like they speak well, they're eloquent, they're presentable. So at the end of the day, I still want to give back to where I come from, which is Ghana, and tell people that media is lucrative. The people, what they think about media, that media girls are this, media girls are that. It's not true. There are girls that are killing it. There are girls that are focused on their job, and they are making a mark. So those are some of the things.
I'll have you stay on that a little bit, and I want both of you to speak on it because it's getting frustrating. To the point where our parents are even asking that, when you do this for a while, look for something else to do. Because this thing is giving you an image, it's giving when you, and how dare you be beautiful? Like, how dare you be beautiful in media? Here in Ghana, I don't know about Nigeria. I don't know elsewhere.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I tell people that not everybody is the same. I'm not trying to say there are not girls that do that, but there are girls as well that are focused on their jobs and are not doing that.
But Riya, how about we went to school and got a certificate for this? How about that? How about we worked hard to get this position? How about that? Why is nobody talking about this job? Is not like you sit in your room and you become a journalist.
When they see media girls get to a certain level, all they can think is that she slept her way through. But I'll tell you something, even with sleeping your way through, there's a part that stops. You cannot, there's a certain place that you cannot sleep your way through. You need to be intelligent. And if people think that it's sleeping your way through, then go and try it. It's not possible. If you are not smart, you're not smart. So it's just a narrative that is there, and some people have also pushed that narrative and made it look like, oh, as a media girl, you're beautiful, you need to pass through so many men. I am doing so well. I didn't pass through so many men. I can hit my chest, even in that Ghana that I worked for, that nobody can come out and say anything about Riya.
Because we're hitting chests here.
We're beating our chest. We're beating chests.
We are beating chests in this studio. Nobody can actually come and claim that here.
Nobody.
Who?
Exactly.
Who are you?
Bring receipts. Bring invoice. No, but on a more serious note, it's actually scary. My first attempt at doing radio, it wasn't at where I worked or where people know I worked before. It was a totally different station that had sprung up. This was circa 2018. So it's 2018 February, actually. I can remember the day. It was February 8th. It was the day that Ebony passed away, if I'm not mistaken, right? And I was invited to a media house, told, come in, you know, let's have this conversation. And it was a really good friend of mine trying to get me ahead. You know, like, let me introduce you to this person. And I was introduced to this veteran. The person is no longer alive. May their soul rest in pieces. But in pieces, in utter pieces, smithereens. I got there and I'm trying to talk to this person finally, like, okay, this is what I can do. I just want training. I need mentorship. And the person looks me dead in the eye and says, listen, before we go in the studio and have any tryouts, I need you to know that you must offer something up to me first.
He spoke these words to you.
Oh, yeah. Looked me dead in the eye and said it. And I was just looking at him. And I just collected my bag and walked out. I didn't even further the conversation. And unfortunately, there are so many other girls. You go for auditions. And unfortunately, when you go to certain auditions, you see people intentionally scantily clad, trying to vie for opportunities with this, trying to tell you that use what you have. Sex appeal is the way forward. You use what you have to get what you want. All these notions are put into people's minds. So even the people who don't have talent or eloquence or any form of articulation will come forward and think that they can get the job because they are going to offer up their goods for sale.
Which is why, to an extent, we have the kind of rot we have in the system, you know, because then you look at it as someone went to journalism school. What is the journalism school there for? If not to train well-trained journalists to put them on television. There was a time that my boss, I was working at a radio station, my boss said, right now, if you're not a light-skinned girl like Keely, you're not going to get... Yeah, that's what I was told.
Stop.
Yeah. If you're not light-skinned, you cannot get the stuff because you see all the media houses, all the name media houses, the people on air are not journalists, but they're light-skinned, so they get the nod. And I remember who I had this conversation with. I had it with Anita Erskine, and I asked her, this is what I hear, but you're very dark.
Yeah.
What happened? She was like, Mimi, two things I'm going to tell you. First of all, you're frustrated for the wrong reasons. If you don't like this job as much, leave it. I was telling my audience and then my co-host on the morning show yesterday that, you know, she told me to leave the job if I wasn't that passionate, because passion will keep you right here. So whether or not you have a spot in this place, the passion for the job will create a space for you and you'll be relevant.
I need to clench my pearls for this one, but you are wearing all the pearls, so I'll just clench a cushion. They said what?
Yeah. And then right after that, she told me that, but also I think you have a beautiful voice and this space is yours, so own it. And that was 2016. We're here in 2025 and I'm still here. And it didn't matter whether I was light-skinned or not. All that mattered was that I would show up in my best self.
But Mimi, do you know the scariest part about it? Unfortunately, as a woman in media, once you get there, indirectly, people try to pitch this idea to you that you need some form of controversy, or if it's not a scandal about you doing something that you have no business doing, that your parents will not be proud to see, you need to get into a fight with somebody, you need to have beef with somebody, or you insert yourself into someone's beef, pick a side and fight with all your edges.
And become relevant.
And become relevant through that, with all your edges.
Edges is important to you.
I swear. But it's like, why do you need to do that? Why do you need to be a negative person? Why do you need to be a bitter person? Why do you need to be a vindictive person just to get ahead? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And they pin we ladies against each other to create this buzz for themselves. Some selfish media houses just want you to be the topic for discussion every single time, just so that their platforms are being, you know, heard of. And we do not know that we are actually the pawn in this entire thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going for a quick commercial break. When we return, the conversation continues right here on The Dish. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking women in media. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Dish right here on MX24. This evening, it's getting hot. The ladies are on fire. You can tell that this is, this is a time where women have understood really what role we play in this media space. And when we remember how unfairly we've been treated, it's just heartbreaking. It's sickening. Let me put it that way. Some ladies have also decided that this is where I'm going to, is I win or die affair. Whatever position you find yourself in, ladies, we deserve the sport too, as long as you've gone to school, as long as you've educated yourself and you have passion for this job, you totally deserve it. But one thing that I've realized that we're lacking in the industry is mentorship. Do we have Riya online?
Yes, I'm here.
Riya, when you were coming up, did you have anyone hold your hands and say that, Riya, I see what you're doing. I want to support you. Mentorship is where we've gotten to. What role does mentorship play in making sure that we solidify this space of just passion to, grow and become responsible media personalities as women?
I tell you, mentorship is key. A big shout out to Bella Mundi. I love her so much. She held my hand. Bella was the first person to put me on TV in Ghana. She saw me, she believed in me, and she loved me regardless what it was. But right now, people are scared of mentorship because when we talk about mentorship now, we see a lot of people that try to mentor people, and at the end of the day, it goes south. So that is why people are also scared to mentor, and people do not want to be mentored. But the power of mentorship, I tell you, if not for Bella Mundi, I don't think I would have gotten the courage I had in Ghana while I was even doing TV in Ghana. Because she put me on TV, she kept on reminding me how great I was. She kept on telling me, you can do it. We all need somebody to tell us that. They say one broom cannot sweep a forest. We need to do it together. You cannot do it alone. Somebody needs to believe in you. Somebody needs to push you. But the question we need to ask ourselves right now is that, do we have great mentors, or we have people that just want to compete and keep their spots? What I see right now is people that just want to keep their spots, and they don't even want to give the younger ones space to come into it. And which is really bad, because at the end of the day, you cannot be on TV for the rest of your life. Younger ones will come, and people are supposed to come and even outdo you, and you're happy that, oh, I saw these people, I put this person on. And that's why I forever tell Bella Mundi, thank you. She's an amazing person. She did it without fear that, oh, Riya is going to become so good and come and take over. No, because she herself knows her value. When you know what you bring to the table, you know that nobody can come and take your spot, and you'll be happy to help the next person. And you spoke about something as well. You were speaking about dark skin and light skin. It's something in Ghana which I hate so much. I don't hear about it in Nigeria. I only heard about it in Ghana. When they tell you that, oh, a fair person looks good on TV, we are not looking at colors here. We are looking at who is good, who can deliver. Because at the end of the day, you may be so beautiful, it will keep the viewer to look at you. But if you are talking senselessly, the viewer will go off. A beautiful face cannot keep the viewer for a very long time, and that's what people do not understand. Be it of your color, if you have the charisma, you speak well, and you're good, you deserve the opportunity to be on TV. And it has nothing to do with if you're fair or if you're light skinned. What I just want to say to the audacity, and what I want to say to our mentors is that we need to do better. We need to help the younger ones, because they cannot do it on their own. We shouldn't make them, lose hope in mentorship, because right now they are losing hope. Because somebody takes you to mentor and it's something totally different.
Yeah, totally. Keely, speak on this a little bit. Let's move on.
With mentorship, I can say that I gathered mentorship in bits and pieces from different people. Sometimes it's not even directly with radio or TV. So, for example, when it came to voiceovers, person that put me on, Nashoko. Nashoko put me on. So, shouts to Nashoko. She was like, you know what? You speak your Liberian pidgin fluently, and you also speak English fluently. there's this person that needs someone for a voiceover for Liberia, so go ahead. And it's been 2 years running. I get the contracts for that gig all the time.
Love it.
You know, so at least
Love it.
she's putting money into my pocket, residual income, right?
Yeah.
And then there are other people, for example, like Nana Otujando, Prince Moses Oforiata. These are people, Kojo Mensah. These are people that have sat me down, will talk to you, you know, do this way, do this that way, put you on your guard. And it's great. But unfortunately, like Riya was mentioning, sometimes over here, mentorship can equate to becoming an errands boy or an errands girl.
Or a mini-me.
Or a mini-me. And it puts you in a very scary box. By God's grace, I haven't entered any bottle like that before. But for other people, amen, we jump over it, empowering me. But other people who I've seen, it's like they want to go in there and they want to become another version of the person.
Exactly.
And it's scary. You can never do that. And you see them losing themselves in the process of trying to embody another person. And sometimes it also leads into some level of emotional abuse where the person makes you feel like, I made you.
Yes.
Whatever you do is a betrayal to me. If you go and you take that gig that's going to change the life of you and your family, you are doing wrong because I don't like this person. It creates a whole cabal system. And that cabal system is toxic. People should be free to go ahead and secure the bag as they please and also grow as individuals. So once you tie your entire personality to another person and you are doing what they want you to do and your loyalty is based on their own loyalties, you're losing track of where you are supposed to go because your path is unique at the end of the day.
You say it so well, and again, I'm going to go back to this wonderful woman, Anita Erskine. She told me this, and she's gone on to actually put it onto her platform, that you cannot be a mini version of your mentors. They are there to elevate the inner you.
Yep.
Everybody has their own blueprints they're following. God has designed that in that way. The moment you become another person, you've missed it.
True.
You've missed it. And I want to say, since we are giving shout outs to people that put us on, let's keep giving it. I think some of the women deserve to be celebrated. Yeah. So I'm going to definitely celebrate Anita Erskine. I want to definitely celebrate Cookie T. From afar, the young lady kept recommending me. She kept talking about my voice. She just kept doing it. And I hadn't even met her in person. And people will tell me, oh, I'm giving you this gig because Cookie actually said that you're good for this.
That is so sweet.
I know. And another person I actually want to definitely celebrate was my former boss, Nana Banamwa. She gave me an opportunity to be on TV again because I was done with media. I was done with the abuse. I was done with everything. I left.
Why are you running?
Riya, are you done with me? I left media. I left for 3 years, yes. I was in corporate Ghana just doing my thing, and she said, no, you cannot be speaking for companies and not be on air. I'm putting you back. And she put me back at GH1. So big shout outs to you. And she did her thing over there, and here we are today. These women made sure that they took their time to give us the opportunity to be on platforms that they are on, and they were not scared to give us those opportunities.
True.
Now, another big one. This one I've written it down. we lost Riya again. Oh my goodness. She came with a lot of fire. You could see that.
A lot of fire. I love it.
This conversation, we have to do a part 2 in the next season, guys. How do you handle sexism or biases in the workplace? And what advice would you give to others who may be facing similar challenges?
Ostrich law, I close my eyes. Because you can't wake up and intimidate me just because you think I came with my XX chromosome. You don't have the rights, ma.
No.
Or sir, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you think you have the rights just because you have a little audacity. But no, the answer is no. I feel like with sexism, it comes in the most subtle ways. When you're trying to do something and everyone acts like you can't figure it out because, you know, you're just a girl.
Yeah.
You don't really know what you're doing.
Yeah.
There's a technical issue and you're like, okay, I know how to hook up these wires. How do you know how to hook up these wires? Yeah. And it comes in the form of, oh, I'm trying to help you. Let me help you make this easier. But in the long run, if you were to hear some backdoor conversations, you'd realize that people just simply think you're incompetent. And with that, you just need to develop thick skin. Because the truth is, it's not going anywhere. And in those situations, you can't go and fight.
No.
Head on. Because it's not that you don't have the strength to fight. It's just that it's pointless at the end of the day. Going to explain to someone, hi, please treat me like a human being. You don't need to ask for that. If someone cannot offer common human decency, I don't think you should beg for it.
No.
Just keep living your life and doing you. And develop a sense of, I wouldn't say hyper-independence, but for lack of a better way to put it, a sense of hyper-independence is good because you're able to work things out for yourself, although it may be taxing, although it may be tedious sometimes, at least you're able to work things out for yourself and actually show people that, you know what, I'm capable of doing this thing. So I don't think if you're out there and someone has ever made you feel like less of a person simply because you have XX chromosomes, don't let it happen.
No.
Just don't let it happen. And don't let it take place in your mind because at the end of the day, every interaction you have with people, your reactions and everything, it all stems from your mindset. And when you allow certain mindsets to be imbibed in you with time, it kills your confidence, it kills your self-esteem, it kills your will to do what you're supposed to do, it kills your ambition and your drive. And I don't think you should ever, 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 ever give another human being that opportunity to have that much power over you. It would be so unfair to sway away from what God has called you to do simply because a human being said you can't.
You can't.
Yeah, so don't do that to yourself.
Don't do that. Don't do that. And I totally agree. Don't do that to yourself. Now, what are some of the significant obstacles you've had to face? You started through social media, doing your own thing, and then coming into radio. Do we have Riya back? No?
Almost.
Okay. Almost. She's almost there. And you've been doing this 3 years running.
A little longer than that if you think about it.
If you think about it, yeah.
Because content creation was like 2018, 2019.
2019.
It's like a good 7 years. My math is terrible.
2018, 7 years.
Is that 7? I can't count. I suck at counting. I'm fine. I talk for a living.
2019, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025.
That's 7 years.
That's 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Okay. I was thinking it's just a couple of
Yeah, it feels like
ago.
just yesterday, right?
It's just yesterday.
Yeah.
Now, since 2018, let's give it 2018 to 2025. What are some of those significant obstacles you've had to face? And today you're going to be vocal as possible.
Yeah.
Because there is a girl, and let me trigger you a little bit so you can get into it. There's a girl out here who thinks that what she's facing is exclusive to her.
Yeah.
She's the only person going through it. And she's thinking none of us had to go through that. And so she's thinking, maybe this is not for me because these ladies don't look like they've been through it. Let's share our story so that they can learn from it.
Okay, Chronicles of Keely, part 1. I think the first hurdle I discovered was conquering self-doubt. Your mind can play tricks on you. You see in the Garden of Eden, the snake came to talk to Eve. How could Eve hear the voice of a snake? It's because women, we overthink. So we allow ourselves and we open our minds to people and allow people to pour into our minds. Sometimes we even give that privilege to the wrong people. Sure. And it creates a sense of self-doubt because there are people around you. You start something and you have a vision for an appointed time. You're like, okay, this is where I'm going to start. You start off small or you look a little crazy at first and people pause to say, oh, this thing you're doing, I don't think it's going to take you far. Or this thing you're doing, like, to what end? And you know where you're going and people don't know where you're going. But because they don't know and they have a little bit of compassion for you or maybe they just don't like what you're doing, they end up being naysayers. And now you have to sit by yourself and convince yourself to stick to your conviction and do what you're supposed to do. Overcoming self-doubt is one thing. And it can come at you in various ways. Sometimes when life becomes burdensome and you're dealing with real issues that you can't even discuss with people, in the middle of that, sometimes a big opportunity can come and you start shaking like, I am going through a lot right now. How am I going to do this? How am I going to be able to carry on? But even in those moments, when you're doing it scared, you are still doing it. And when you look back at your show reel, you realize that, you know what, I did just fine. So that's one aspect. Another aspect I would say would be navigating your relationships with people. Not just romantic relationships per se, but even with friendships. You grow to learn that a lot of people tend to fall in love with the idea of you. This is both platonic and romantic. People would see you doing your work, and your work is magnetic. You're supposed to pull people in to let people enjoy themselves. You are literally an entertainer. You inform and you entertain. So naturally, people gravitate towards you. And with that gravitation, they may not understand what they are feeling for you.
No.
They might romanticize or idealize a version of you that may not really exist. So once the microphone is off and the camera is off and you're sitting at home in your bonnet and your joggers and your t-shirts and you're looking homeless in your house with a bowl of ice cream in your hand, they don't understand it. Why are you so chill? Why are you not hype all the time? You know.
Why are you not looking so nice
You
with the makeup and hair done and everything? Why are you like this?
Why are you like this? Why are you not wearing lashes?
Can I blow
right
your
now?
mind? A man actually told me this.
Wow.
That I prefer you when you're on television.
That is wild. That's a wild thing to say.
And I told him that in that version you would be seeing on TV for the rest of your life.
He'll be a fan.
You will continue to
He'll
be a fan. You can never get close.
Wow.
Because when you come to my house, I'm a mother.
Yeah.
And I'm a girl.
Exactly.
And sometimes I'm doing emutuo. And sometimes
self-care.
I just want to. I'm in my house. You didn't pay my rent for me. I'm in my house.
Hey, me, I've grinded chile and I've put oils inside and I'm doing my face mask. And you are telling me that I shouldn't put chile on my face because you're around. What do you mean? So people creating ideas of you in their minds.
Sure.
And other people too would gravitate towards you and they don't know why. So you need to be able to sift and sieve your categories of connections with people. Sure. You should be able to know who's an acquaintance, who is a co-worker, who is a friend, who is a close friend, who is a best friend. Because with media too, you need to realize that you're outside. And if you slip up and you give people an opportunity, one mistake could ruin a lot for you. One bad connection could ruin a lot for you. Just being seen next to somebody can create a certain perception of you. Oh, those girls, that's how they are. Oh, maybe you haven't done some before. Maybe your tape isn't anywhere. Maybe you haven't gone to date anybody's husband before. But because someone came to your studio and you interviewed them and the person is a husband thief, everybody's going to assume that you two, you're a husband thief, just by association. So that's equally important. And I would also say that media taught me that it's okay to walk away sometimes. Breakups are beautiful. Breakups are beautiful. Yeah.
This is where the church says amen.
Amen.
And I have an experience. I'll share with you when you're done.
Breakups are beautiful because you may give your all to an employer at a point in time. You're like, this media house, we die here. Forever and ever, amen, until Jesus comes. And you find yourself killing yourself to make things work. But at a point, you get to realize, you know what, this thing is not serving the purpose it's supposed to serve. Me leaving doesn't make me an ungrateful human being.
No.
If I decide to find better for myself and I decide to take another route, even if it pays less, if I decide to take this route because I realize that it's going to put me on the right path for me to reach the trajectory I'm trying to attain, respect it. And also, which one is my camera? Media people, please, I beg you, in the name of God, if you're working with someone and they leave your media house, you are not enemies. You're not enemies. It's not a clique. It's not a cabal. It's not a friendship group. Neither are we in high school. If somebody leaves your media house, feel free to still be cordial with them. And I don't think management sometimes too should be pressing people about their relationships, interpersonal relationships with people. Someone will leave a media house and then they realize that you guys went out together and it's posted on your Snapchat. You get to work in the morning on Monday. Oh, so you are hanging with the ops. Are you not? Like, no, it's just another person that came and passed through. So we need to be a little less toxic too in the media space.
I want to, at this point, I want to give shout outs to my girls from GH1. We hang out like we're working together. I think this will be 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was in Anna's house and it was her birthday. And I could tell, you know, even people who have left GH1 were there. My girls, Mommy and Co. We hang out and sometimes when we're hanging out, we're like, do you actually know that you're my enemy?
My
you
rival.
don't work with us anymore. Why are you still here? But then you realize that there has been, you know, for us, the relationship is beyond just work. And that's what you spoke about, telling, you know, who belongs to your space. One thing I also realized was that some people that we grew up, you know, watching and you know, making them our, you know,
idolizing.
Idolizing, let me put it that way. Yeah, thank you so much for that word, for the brofo. These people, you wake up one morning and they're no longer on television, they're no longer on radio, and the thing you hear is, oh, they got married.
Right.
And then you're like, they got married? And what happened? And so I want to just put it this way, because I've had my own personal experience with that. Someone telling me that, oh, if I marry you, then you have to stop media. I said, okay, then go and find your wife, because I clearly am not your wife. But these things are real life situations. Some women have had to sacrifice their careers in media just to be in a relationship. And I want to understand where this could be coming from. Is it that we fully don't understand what our purpose is in this media space? Because you also want to remember that with the fourth arm of government, if they don't know, we actually play a huge role in governance.
True.
And if ever government wants to do anything, you'll be looking for its partner, which is the media. And we women, we stand at the very core of this conversation. And so again, you're thinking is that we don't know what we are, and so we let relationships carry us out of this calling of just being in the media.
Mimi, do you know what the wahala is?
What is the wahala?
The wahala is people allowing themselves to be led by bad partners, because I don't understand why. And I mean, from personal experience and from observation, I don't think you should ever allow yourself as a woman to be led by a man, as in you choose to submit to this person, be led by this person who doesn't understand who you are. When they don't understand who you are, when a person doesn't understand who you are, they'll try to mold you into what they want you to be. And in molding you into what they want you to be, so many parts of you get lost in translation. So when that happens, you want to carry forward with your media career, but then they minimize it so much and make it so minuscule that you feel that there's no point in carrying forth with this thing. There's a greater calling, there's a higher calling. You know, family, I'm just going to be here cooking okra soup and I'll give birth to like 6 children. Why not? And we're going to be happy, la-di-da. And you may agree to that. In the first year, it's going to be dandy. You are still in love. That's the honeymoon phase. When it clears from your eyes, and you're sitting at home and you're feeling unfulfilled and you're crying day in, day out as you're chopping the aforementioned okra that you're supposed to be cooking. That's when you realize that you're out of touch. And I think that leads to so many women growing to be so bitter. You see someone who's a TV personality or a musician and she was doing great. She ended up with the wrong person and you see her again. She's lost her glow. She's lost her spark. She's not the same person she used to be. So I'll just say in those situations, if you ever meet someone who thinks that in order for them to accept you, you need to let go of a crucial part of yourself that has to do with your destiny, let them find someone else. Because clearly they don't want to take you along on a journey. And whoever's supposed to lead you is supposed to lead you into the best version of yourself. And that includes your career. So if they're pulling you away from that, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You don't belong there.
You don't belong there, and they don't love you. There's nobody that loves you that would say, you know what, throw away everything that you love and know how to do just because you want to be with me. Where's the sacrifice in there?
In a different setting, I would have said that. But then, where is the partnership? Because if we're partners, and I'm actually saying this against you, so hold on.
Oh, it's fine.
If we're partners and we're supposed to be sacrificing in this relationship, shouldn't you sacrifice your career for my home, since you're the woman and you have more soft attached to raising our kids?
I don't believe that. I think that at the end of the day, telling someone to sacrifice their whole career is so selfish. Because you are not sacrificing your career. Granted, you are the provider. That's cute and all. But you're not sacrificing your career. Why should I lose myself in the process of that? Yes, we're going to have kids. I can take a hiatus, a little pause to take care of the kiddie bumps and kiddie bumps and make sure that at least they make it to preschool and I can get back into the swing of things. But for you to totally dissuade me when there have been no plans of childbearing, no family planning has been put in place, just because you want to see me at home, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's not fair. Because I had a life before I met you. And you came to meet me doing this. So why do you think I should let go of it?
And maybe to a very larger extent, this is what attracted you to me.
Exactly. If you didn't see me on TV with my edges laid, you wouldn't have called me. You wouldn't be in my DMs. No, you wouldn't have. So don't be hypocritical about it.
Keely, hey, Brewer, I think that We get it, okay?
Yes.
Don't do it again. Don't do it again. But this one is also a very, very, very crucial part of media now.
Yes.
So a very, very, very long time ago in Bethlehem, you know, if you have a television host on GTV, you only see her on TV, right?
Yeah.
And she's caught in her African print with her duku and just coming, good morning, you're welcome to GBC Live, and that was all we saw. But now social media is here.
True.
Has this been a blessing or a curse to women in media?
I would say both. I think it's a blessing to those who are on their come up like me. I'm still trying my best.
Okay.
Support me. I need your help.
Please,
Forget
we need
me
your
not.
help.
Forget me not. But I think to those who are veterans and those who have controversial takes within their space, it's kind of like a curse to them because the lines are blurred between their public persona and their private life. So, for example, if somebody like Jocelyn Dumas decides that she wants to eat soakings and someone happens to just catch a random snap of that and then they post that to Instagram or Snapchat, people will come and say, oh, she's fallen off. She doesn't have anything. She's fallen on hard times. Poverty has stricken her. And she would have to deal with that backlash in the media. And it's unfortunate. Or somebody has a private relationship somewhere, it goes awry, and then their partner decides that, okay, I can't have this person anymore, so I'm going to sabotage her whole life. And they start posting personal images. Now that affects the person's professional life, whereas the two weren't really supposed to be intertwined. All those things are problems. You know, but on the bright side, at least it allows us to tap into a global village and reach people from across the world and also build a strong community with other women who are also in our field that we can learn from and then grow with. So it's 50-50, it's bittersweet.
So then the advice goes out to say that then we should look out for the positives and leverage on that opportunity that we have out here. There's so many women doing incredibly amazing things out here, and we should jump on that. I discovered this wonderful lady, Faith Ebube. She's with ABC News. And girl, our chats are fire because this is someone you're talking to and there's no one personal conversation. All of it is work. If you check our chats, it's crazy. I've never had a friendship like that before. Where we're not having light conversations. Like, what do you think about this DD case? And this guy has got me on this DD case. I'm like,
honestly,
what?
I'm on the DD case. I've been on the DD case since 2023. That's how long I've been following the DD case. So right now, I'm a little upset with how the jury is behaving.
Yes.
The jury is not thinking, but I hope that he will still get at least 20 years. So he'll come out at the age of like 75-ish.
Then he doesn't have energy to do anything.
He doesn't have energy. Yeah. Let's see how it goes.
We all know where we stand now.
Yeah.
But finally, Keely, we didn't get Riya back online, but that's very unfortunate. We're going to get her back in the studio one day.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll go to Nigeria, just the two of us.
I know, right? Why not?
Yeah.
I'm down. Let's go to Lagos.
Yeah, let's go to Lagos.
Let's go to Lagos.
And
Abuja. Yes. I'm down.
We should.
I'm down.
And then do Women in Media Part 2. In Abuja.
In Abuja.
And Lagos.
Lagos.
Yes. Yeah, so looking into the future, what do you hope to see change or improve for women in media?
For women, number one, better pay.
Hey, Keely.
I hate all the hard issues. Number one, better pay.
Yeah.
Because it's unfortunate, especially when you're a young woman and you don't have kids and you are not married and you know, somebody would come and be like, okay, I'm booking you for this thing. I need you to do X, Y, and Z. You give them your price as per your lifestyle. Yeah, I need to
as per the way they want you to appear.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you give them your price as per your lifestyle, as per your bougie habits. Like for me, I have a sushi addiction. I need to be able to buy all the sushi I want. So I'll charge you based on my guilty pleasures. Then you come and tell me, oh, madam, haba, reduce it, calm down. And I'm like, this is my price. And they would want to argue, you know what, you're not married yet, you don't have any kids, what do you need all this money for? And they're trying to convince you that you are not worthy of holding that amount in your account because you are young, free, and living your best independent life. It doesn't make sense. So better pay. Aside better pay, I would say the barriers to entry, especially those that have to do with sexual assault, that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
We need to also give people stuff based on merit. We had this conversation off the cuff before we even started the show. Merit-based work A1 because that also builds your sense of value as a woman.
Yeah.
So please, we need to stop giving people jobs based on the goods that they have given to their boss first. Let somebody come in qualified, even if they don't have a media degree. I, for one, I do not have a journalism degree. I was just born this way. I came fresh from nature God like this. So...
And that's what we are pushing up against because I went to journalism school.
Do you understand?
And I'm telling you that we also need jobs.
Eventually. But you see, the thing is, there are some people who are born with the talent. Some people are born with the eloquence. Give them the opportunity. Don't put people in a box. Don't abuse your privileges just because you are a boss. Don't overwork people or stress people out. I met a lady at a mixer. We're heading home. I was heading home with another colleague, and she was just standing there. We're like, you know what, let's give you a lift. Come on, jump in. So she jumps into the car, and we're having a conversation, and she's talking about how she's been at work all day. I was like, what are your working hours? She says 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Why?
And I said, why? Are you on a rubber plantation? Is this slavery?
Yeah.
What's up? And that's what she has to deal with. Yet she's still supposed to have a life on the side. So all those little things, you know, the pay disparity, the treatment, the discomfort that comes with people trying to touch up on you just because you are beautiful. Allow women to be beautiful. Allow them to come into their space. Stop undermining them. Don't overlook them. Don't underestimate them. Just treat them like human beings. Allow them to be human. And also make accommodations for the fact that they are women. We need to talk about this. Sometimes you're working and you're having a terrible cycle.
Yeah.
You genuinely cannot come.
Yeah.
The people who are in charge of you don't want to understand that you can't come. And they think you are making it up. How bad can it really be?
Yeah, and that can be very depressing because you know exactly what you're going through. And then for someone to understand you, to help you go through it, to make it easier, no, they know they hear them. Oh, but then it's just a few hours.
Or maybe your cycle just has your emotions out of whack. All these things need to be understood. And I think it goes down to education in the schools where we teach both genders the intricacies of being that gender to begin with. True. Because if boys are growing up understanding that cycles come with mood issues, they come with pain, they can sometimes even come with ailments, as they grow up into being men, they'll be kinder and they'll grow to appreciate it and understand it better. So we need to do better as a society.
We definitely do. Keely, I said we're going to Abuja or Lagos.
Yes, we are.
To go and continue this conversation. Because I tell you, if we bring 3 women into this studio, I tell you the experience will be different. And whatever connects us together will be the fact that we have felt unfairly treated in this space. But I know that we are also here regardless of what is happening to us, and we're making the mark in life as we're supposed to. I want to say a big thank you to Gino, Telecel, Cowboy Coffee, Lele, Nivea, and Betway. Of course, Epiglow says that skin deserves some pampering. After your boss has shown you shaggy, please carry Epiglow. Go and bath. Use Epiglow on the face, on the skin. Let them know that you two are here, okay? I want to say another big thank you to Decoson for this beautiful set, and to you, Keely, for making time. Again, congratulations on your new show.
Thank you.
Wish you all the very best. When is it showing?
Friday.
Friday. Friday. What time?
We have 9 a.m. and then 8 p.m. if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I'm still getting accustomed to all my time zones and stuff.
Please stay right here on MX24 and you get updates on all of that. Foodie Friday is on. It's on the AM Club and then on later on during the day, okay? So please make sure to stay right here with us. Also, I want to say big thank you to Riya Abdul. She joined us all the way from Nigeria and make sure we had a good time here on the show. This has been The Dish on MX24. My name is Miriam Mensah. See you again next week.